to Wine Down, the podcast where we talk wine and everything that goes with it. Today we are talking surfing, and we have for our guest Brian Keaulana. Thank you for being here.
Thank
so
you,
do
guys.
you like wine? Let's get into it.
I used to hate wine, but I got educated, put it that way. So I travel around the world, and my French friend, because every year I would go out and compete in Biarritz, and he took me out and said, let's go and go drink wine. And I go, I don't like wine, you know, I'm a beer drinker. And he goes, you're not educated. And I go, what you mean you're not educated? He goes, you don't know how to eat. And I go, what does eating has to do with drinking, right? You know? So anyway, he educated me. We went around and went all around to San Sebastian and Biarritz and some of the best food around, tapas and, you know, hors d'oeuvres. And then he would pair them up, you know, try this wine with this food and then reset your palate. And just, you know, again, it was an amazing cultural experience. That was the difference.
Now I'm nervous.
Oh,
now I'm super nervous.
You got high expectations.
Yeah, seriously. Well, you know, we're talking surfing, we're talking beach. I brought two wines, both from the same grape, Malvasia. Mm-hmm. And one is made on the beach, and one is made for the beach. Oh. So this particular wine right here we're drinking, the winery is called Vergona. It's from a little island of 2,500 inhabitants, right off the coast of Sicily, and called Salina, and it's their white wine. Taste it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't want to put like words in, you know, in your head or whatever, but like this wine smells like the beach to me. I mean, it's grown so close to the island is Manini, and it's grown so close that there's like some salt on the grapes.
The salt sprays, and you know, it's funny because, you know, when we talk about Hawaiian culture and the Apua and from Mauka to Makai, right? And we understand of how things grow and even how the fish, you know, benefit, you know, from the land and all that. And even our grapes, you know, how they benefit from the soil and everything and stuff too. So
I smell like sea water, right? I'm getting a nod from Moani, which is the first time she ever agreed with me on this podcast.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
I don't know if it's because you worded it that way and it stuck in my head, but I feel like I'm drinking the ocean.
It really is.
I know, I feel like when 20-foot lineup close by.
So good.
So talk to us about surfing. You compete, you teach, you travel all around the world.
Yeah, I grew up at Makaha Beach. My backyard was literally Makaha Beach, you know. So my dad being Buffalo Keaulana, one of the pioneer surfers, you know, our ocean was our playground, our school, our workplace, our church, you know, was everything to us guys. And, you know, growing up around the ocean, we never went hungry because my dad would feed not just us, but everybody around us, you know. So we always had that Hawaiian lifestyle of growing up and sharing, you know, those kind of things. And, you know, I had uncles from around the world, never know that who was related to me because everybody was uncle, everybody was auntie, as in Hawaii is, right? You know, and you hanai everybody. And then, you know, again, with cultures, there's different foods. Everybody bring their best food and stuff like that too. And then again, you know, people would bring their different drinks, whether they make Hokule'a or whether they bring their wine from their vineyards or whoever and stuff as gifts or ho'okupus, right? You know, so it was a rich childhood that I had, you know, my upbringing of you know, just the world would come to us. And then, you know, me going around the world and just, you know, I wanted to get away from Hawaii. That's all I wanted to do was travel. I wanted to, like, you know, get away from Waianae and Makaha. But you don't really appreciate what you have until you travel to third world countries and you see poverty and you see, you know, different mixtures of culture. But, you know, there's good and bad in the world, you know. And then when you come home, you truly see what we really have in, like, our oceans, you know, our temperatures of how comfortable things is, you know, so.
Makes you appreciate where we come from so much more, huh?
Yeah.
That's so well put.
Yeah.
So you basically created Water Safety, the book on water safety.
I would say I would contribute. You know, I wouldn't say that I created everything because, like anything, you know, in life-saving or in things, it's not about me, it's about we, it's about us. So it's about a team. You know, lucky and fortunate that we surround ourselves with great people, you know, and that's the thing and stuff too. So, you know, when we first was getting involved in life saving, like the use of the personal watercraft or the jet skis, when we did them, a lot of people focus on me, you know, establishing this, but it's not about me, you know, because there's this pillar of people around me that really brought the forefront into life saving with, you know, like Terry Ahui, Dennis Govea, Melvin Poo, you know, those the guys that was, you know, it wasn't all about me, it's us, you know, that we contributed into what life saving is around the world now.
Amazing. All right, well, we're going to have to take a break. When we get back, we'll talk more with Brian. See you guys soon. Rest easy with the new windows from Windows Hawaii, featuring Ali'i Extreme windows with their exclusive sound reduction and security package. Call 671-0808 today. 120-day peace of mind guarantee exclusively at Inspiration Interiors. Inspiration will refund you the difference if you find a lower price on identical merchandise delivered in Hawaii.
Welcome back to Wine and Surfing with Uncle Brian Keaulana. We're just talking about a lot of your achievements and man, such a humble guy, like so humble.
Seriously,
right?
this is a lesson in humility.
But let's really talk about some of your achievements. So you've been in a lot of movies, and you're in one of my favorite movies of all time, which is 50 First Dates.
Oh yeah.
So tell us about
tell us about some of the movies you did and what your experiences were like.
Oh God. So my movie career, I started when I was like 17. You know, so got more into modeling and acting and dabbled in commercials and that, and just kind of seeing how the movie business was, but really gravitated towards stunts and got involved in stunt work. So, you know, did like Heart to Heart and the original Baywatch, which was really filmed here, the original first, then went to California, you know, and, you know, just being in that world and stuff also too, because that's also my family in that world in filming and stuff too. But Waterworld, 50 First Dates, Joe versus the Volcano, Midway, Pearl Harbor. I mean, my list is as long as my surfing career is, you know. So yeah, there's a lot, you know, a lot of stories, you know.
Soul Surfer, Blue Crush.
Yeah.
You guys know there's like all of them.
Was
all
it Joe
of the
versus the
surfing
Volcano? Was that
movies.
the Keanu Reeves one? No.
No, so I actually met Keanu on the original Point Break with Patrick Swayze, and I was the stunt coordinator for the Point Break 2 also too. So I did both, yeah. And I knew Keanu before he became, you know, his first movie was Bill and Ted's, and then he did that, and, you know, he just became this unbelievable, you know, and he has ties in Hawaii also too.
Oh, yeah.
So his family from Kauai.
He's really as nice as people say.
Yeah. Keanu is unreal.
That's cool. They say never meet your heroes, but like I want to meet him so bad. So hook me up.
How has it been like working with, you know, some of the actors who are not very comfortable in the water, or say like, you know, that Blue Crush, they actually have to surf.
Oh yeah.
So how is it like really working with, say, an actor or a crew member, and also just like withholding into like the tradition of surfing?
You know, it's all about trust and comfort. You know, before you trust me, you have to trust yourself. You know, and getting to the mind frame of each person, because everybody has fears, and all fear is a lack of knowledge. So the more knowledge you get, the less fear you're gonna have. So like Kate Bosworth and Michelle Rodriguez, you know, both of them now close friends, you know, but when we first got them, I asked Brian Grazer to give the talent to us way in advance to train. And he gave us like 8 weeks, you know, so which was a big investment on their part to invest time into their talent. But Kate, we got them so comfortable. She was running rocks underwater, breath holding, swimming, running. I mean, super athletic. And then we got her surfing and built her up to toe surfing. And we literally got her, I mean, she was surfing waves the size of this building right here, you know, inside this room.
In 8 weeks?
Yeah, in 8 weeks, yeah. I mean, because we can tow them in to one wave and place them to where they should be, not where they shouldn't be. So it's understanding, you know, where to kind of create safety where safety doesn't exist, you know, and understand that your supportive team is there when things go wrong, how you can get yourself out of that situation. So she had total trust, but we also trained her to rescue us. So it gave the confidence that if something happens to us, she can rescue us, you know? And that's how we train a lot of the actors and actors, so they really become confident, you know?
Could you train me?
Yeah, we
No,
can.
seriously. So this wine reminds me a lot about surfing. I grew up on Kauai,
Yep.
and I'm terrible. And it reminds me a lot about surfing because all I did when I was in the water was swallow water.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Water.
that was it.
Water. Swallow the water.
What was like the scariest, I don't know, accident or being in the water that you've gotten yourself into?
It's different because, people ask me that all the time. How do you deal with fear, right? And I just don't put emotions into my actions. We train so much into the process of creating safety that emotion is not part of that process. So fear is an emotion. So for us, because we train so much, it's pretty much, you do your 1, 2, 3s or A, B, C's, but it's a step.
Wow.
It's a process, because if you rock your process and you do them right with your team, you'll survive.
Wow. We're
So,
gonna hold on that thought right now. It's very interesting, but we'll be right back.
Wine and brought to you by Locations, whose team of trusted neighborhood experts have been helping Kama'aina to buy and sell homes since 1969. Locally owned and operated. Wine and brought to you by Beachside Roofing, the leaders.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Wind And. We're talking with Brian Keaulana, surfing. I think we have a surfing question.
Yes. So, Uncle, let's settle this once and for all. Did surfing originate in Hawaii?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
So cool.
And that's the thing. If you look back into the history of our kings and, all the way and our culture, surfing has always existed. And you can see that through the families passed down in just the skills. Like, one of the things, I get all these kids, we make them build these alaya boards, ancient boards, and the kids go out and they're doing traditional surfing, but also non-traditional, like shove-its and things in the future. And these kids from Makaha have never seen the outside world, have never seen snow. I wanted to take them one day and put them in snow gear and put them on snowboards, and they would just probably rip that mountain apart, But yeah, it's, surfing is here and in the Olympics, coming up, so proud that they're recognizing surfing in the Olympics.
Now that we're kind of we're still a little bit in this whole, different world that we're in in a pandemic. Tourists are coming in. Do you see a difference at Makaha Beach, even in Waikiki? Like, how are you guys handling it? Are you like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's a weird world, right? This pandemic, has created so much fears and so much misinformation also too. Is how to find that educated, because I tell people, you either make a choice or take a chance. And how do you make a choice if getting the right education across? And then, with all these tourists that are coming here, we need that economy. But, a lot of the tourists that I see right now it's a different tourist. It's not that Asian culture where they come in with respect and humbleness of other cultures. Right now, you see entitlement, and I see that. And I call it as it is because it is what it is. And a lot of people out there not seeing the beast, and I call them Beauty and the Beast, because they come to Hawaii looking for blue sky, swaying palm trees, and hula girls, and they don't see the dangers, and they get in trouble. And I and my team end up rescuing a lot of these people because they're uneducated, they're taking chances, they're not making educated choices, and they're getting hurt or killed. And we have a Kuleana responsibility for them and for ourselves, because we also putting ourselves at risk.
Of course.
In our kids and our junior guards or lifeguards and our fellow surfers also too.
So what's the solution? I heard somebody say play a PSA on every flight coming over or something.
There's what is it, pono that it's going out like on Instagram. I really love because it's Olelo and it's also in English, and it really shows the values of who we are, you know. And I think if people can just gravitate to understand who we are and how we are stewards to our own land, you know, because it's a different way of thinking, whether you're thinking Western way or Hawaiian way, because Western way is I own this. Hawaiian way is it owns us. We are caretakers. We are, you know, of the land and of the ocean, you know. So it's a different thought frame. So to educate them, I think that's the process.
Oh, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Education's important.
Can you put out a video for everybody? I feel like you're the guy.
Yeah, be like, Uncle Brian said,
Yeah.
be careful.
Or else he's gonna lick you.
But
He
it's
would lick your
also,
uncles.
but it's also too like how you're saying with entitlement. It's like even though we have those things out there, whether it's in Olelo Hawaii or English, are they actually taking the time to just listen? And that's like the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
For some people to do, and that's sad.
Yeah. You know, and that's why I love the ocean, because the ocean, it'll put you to school and you'll get educated. And if you're not going to go to school and you're in the ocean, you're going to church because you're going to be underwater talking to God.
Like me.
So good.
That's my whole life in the water.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this wine.
Cool. So this is the exact same grape that we're drinking, Malvasia, except this one's grown in California. So I brought a wine from the beach. This is my wine for the beach.
Yeah.
Every single time I go to the beach, this is in the cooler, guaranteed. So
Is
it's
that
light.
like truth or?
Yeah.
Smelling a lot of pear and apple.
Yeah.
It smells like lychee to me.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
lychee.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna say
yes.
lychee.
You were gonna say lychee? Oh,
Don't push it, Chris.
you sure?
All right, how about we take a sip? When we get back from this break, we'll kind of
Yes,
get
I
into
knew
it and see what we think. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Perfect.
Sounds
We'll
good.
see you guys when we get back.
So this was really good. Welcome back to Wine and Surfing. Okay,
Very light.
so yeah, I liked it. You said lychee.
Fruity.
Yeah. It's super aromatic, really floral. And when I'm swallowing a bunch of salt water, you know, I counteract it with something that's sweet and floral. But it really goes with all kind foods too. So like you're eating not just one thing at the beach, right? You have everything. You get potluck basically. Food from all kind cultures. Everybody brings whatever. And this wine like matches with pretty much everything. Yeah.
Nice.
So you were saying that you're into wine, but Ha'a, your daughter, is into wine.
Yeah.
Or did she steal your wine out of your wine locker?
Why not steal?
Yeah.
Share.
Sure.
So, you know, I took my daughter to France also too. And same thing, right? You know, go around.
Are you adopting?
What? Yeah, we all should go. Lanai travels with me too.
Oh.
But you know, when she went there, it's the same thing, right? You know, asking my friends, hey, you know, take my daughter and educate her, you know, in wine tasting, and she got educated and she loved the culture also too, right? And when we come home, so I had wine from New Zealand, wine from Japan, wine from Australia, all this, you know, in my wine refrigerator locker. But then, you know, after a while, it's that wine disappeared, you know? So now it's a challenge. And this is why I have fun with my kids is we go out and we find the best tasting wine at the most affordable prices. That's the challenge.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and there's some amazing wine that you can find. You know?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, how much would you pay for this bottle?
I don't know.
You're looking at the screw cap right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it looks pretty cheap. No,
Let's
but you could
guess.
find this for way under $20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's nice, you know, that's the thing too. You know, it's so funny because I just caught myself, right, also too, because I was going, this is the Makaha way of holding, right? Grip them nice
That's
and
like
hard.
a little beer.
You don't want anybody to take it, that's why, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and then my friend, you just reminded me too, because, you know, he would hold it one certain way and he telling me and stuff also too. And it's the culture, right,
Yeah.
you know, of how things is. So I just like to dive in of, you know, who's ever home we at, right? What is that culture like? And then explore, you know, that taste and smell and you know, and that's the thing that I teach in the ocean, because a lot of what we teach, especially in like being a water person, you know, you kind of shut off your eyes and you listen to the sounds. Like I can go in the water and tell you underwater how far shoreline is, or whether there's a beach, or whether there's a cliff, or whether there's a rock because of that sound. I can tell you of how far land is because of the refraction in swells, you know, and the depth and things like too. So it's those fine details that make you understand. It's kind of like, I would call myself and my team a sommelier of the ocean, you know. It's the same thing as going into the details of the wine, you know. So yeah, all forms of water.
You're like Poseidon, Aquaman.
I know.
Yeah, you're all rolled into one.
Hawaiian
Well,
Superman.
Aquaman is related to us.
Is Jason Momoa is
Yeah.
related to your family?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
He has Keaulana blood, so yeah.
Beautiful. Did you
So-
teach him how to surf?
Jason?
Yeah.
No, you know, I wouldn't claim everything with Jason and stuff too. He's a self-made man also too, and he's always around our family. I took him to junior guards before, you know, when he was a kid, and it's funny because I also brought him to, we did a movie called In God's Hands into the premiere, and he wasn't into movie, but he was with me at the premiere watching, wow, this is cool, I like getting into this, and you know, kind of pushed him towards Baywatch Hawaii, which was one of the first, but it also was one of those where he, you know, it's funny in the acting world and stuff where you get stereotypes sometimes too, you know, and he really worked hard to who he is today. And, you know, I'm really proud and appreciative of who he is and what he stands for and what he's doing for the rest of the world also too.
How he's representing the culture
Oh
too.
yeah, fully. Yeah.
Aaliyah perked up real quick when you said Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I mean, fangirl a little bit. Okay. It
So
wasn't
with
like-
your father, was there anything that he really pushed on you while you were, you know, growing up with him and watching him being like a surfer and a legend in itself?
Yeah, my dad is a real just soul of the ocean, right? You know, my father knows everything inside and out, and always taught us guys, you know, how to play, how to work, how to survive, and how to have fun and how to share. You know, and that was not just my dad, but my mom, and that was our whole upbringing. So again, we're not divided by land, but we're connected by water, you know, and everyone who goes into our ocean becomes part of our family, no matter what part of the world.
I just got chicken skin. Okay, let's continue this because I love where this is going. Right on the extended YouTube version, please join us. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know how we're doing, if you have any questions, and then also follow our Instagram page on Wine and Podcast. And Uncle, are there any social medias that you want to hand out to our audience?
Check out my daughter.
She's awesome.
Keaulana.
Yeah, I went to school with her. All right, well, cheers, guys. We'll see you guys
Cheers.
in the next.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to our extended version on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing and hitting that like button. Be sure to continue to tell everyone, your friends, family, strangers will appreciate it. If you're just joining us, we're with Brian Keaulana. We're talking about surfing and wine. Chris, you've done a really good job with pairing the wine.
Yes.
Thanks, I love these.
They're very
wines.
beachy.
Delicious. Love it.
Okay, so movies. You've done commercials, I've recently heard. I literally didn't know you did commercials. So what are some of the commercials you've done?
Oh God, a lot of Japanese commercials, a bunch of them. I mean, jeez, the list goes on. I guess one of the big ones was the Guinness beer commercial, which won the Can Award also too. It's with all the white horses galloping in giant waves, you know. So that, and that was pretty heavy because I had to take all these guys out in like giant surf, and they had to specifically wipe out at certain times.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call
remember
them
that
stunt work. Yeah,
commercial.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, again, in stunt work, it's funny because they're the most safest people out in production because they design all the chaos and dangers and you know, put their safety perimeters behind what's captured, you know, and it's an art form. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole teamwork of just knowledgeable people creating, you know, this magical piece that, you know, is being out there. Yeah, it's funny because I just get random thoughts of all these productions that, you know, we've been involved in. I remember doing this, what was it, a jeans commercial out at Pipeline, you know, and they brought someone in and ended up that person couldn't swim, you know, and, you know, sometimes, and that's the thing, as actors, they'll say they can do everything and until they did and then find out.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
I can swim. and he can attest to it.
Oh,
He
yeah,
put
sure.
us through a training. I went to Makaha. It was Lanai was actually with us, and our good friend Malika Dudley. She's like, "Oh, let's go to Makaha. We'll just hang out with Uncle Brian." I'm like, "Oh yeah," thinking we're just at the beach hanging out, like not doing anything. All of a sudden, I get there, I see Uncle Brian. Okay, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go on the mat. We're gonna do a workout in the ocean. Let me
What do
just
you
say,
mean
the
a
fact
workout?
that he was with us, I was very relieved. But then I was like, shoot, I gotta really show that I can work out now. Yeah, it's if you want to explain it, the
Waterman. So the training is intense because I try to make training harder than real life, because when real life hits you, the training was way more easier than real life. You know, so we train to survive. You know, and when I took Moani and Malika, we running back and forth. So I try to train myself in 5 parts, or ourselves. We train to do strength training to hold back danger, speed to outrun danger, agility to outmaneuver danger, flexibility to bend and contort to danger to reduce injury, and the last is E, endurance to outlast danger. So it's an acronym for SAFE, SSAFE, strength, speed, agility, flexibility, endurance. And that's the training process that we use, right? You know, in all these different facets. But with me, with training, it's all about, if I'm not having fun, I'm not training. So it's all about, you know, putting that fun into that training, because you forget about time and you start, you know, just going and you're laughing with each other and just enjoying each other and stuff there.
Wow. Please tell me you have like a book of some sort out. that we
Everybody
could-
keep asking. Maybe one day I'll write them with Lanai.
no, but that was the one thing. He made it so fun. And it wasn't like you're just like, I'm dead, I'm tired.
But you
And
are
no,
though.
No, but
you're-
everybody's laughing, everybody's feeding off of
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it's you're there to have fun, but you're also there to really get it in.
Wow. So you set up stunts and you also do stunt work yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have like any crazy injury stories or something that went wrong? Or?
I would say injuries.
You look like a person that never gets hurt ever. By the way, like
It's all part of the, it's all part of the planning, right? And again, in stunt work is, you got to remember that stunt work, you're dealing with the high caliber ability, just athlete, right? You know, like if I'm doing skydiving, I bring in the Red Bull guys. You know, if we're doing car work, it's like the top guys driving cars. In fire, you know, fighting, those. So it's always the best of the best. And of course, in the water, we got the best guys in the world in Hawaii, you know. So, but we also trade knowledge and abilities with each other. We kind of train each other. Like, it's funny how much driving stunts I do compared to water work also too.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know, that, but, you know, to be a stunt person, you have to be well-rounded. You can't be on one-trick pony. So even like guys like me and Terry Ahui, we traveled, you know, mainland, and we just hit the pavement. I mean, literally, you know, hitting the ground.
Wow.
You know, and working with the best guys and learning from them, but also teaching them also too, you know, those kind of things. But even like now, you know, we working on like NCIS Hawaii, Dugi Kamealoa, you know, that we have productions here in town, Magnum PI. And the stunt coordinators that we have here are amazing people also too, that contributing to our stunt community also too, you know. So again, it's a lot of team effort that in our production that we have here, you know, that's building up our own community here.
wow. Always so humble.
I know. I would feel very safe being in the water with Uncle Brian.
Yeah, actually, please, can you take me out one day?
So let's talk about what you've created, because you obviously do driving stunts, all kinds of different stunts, but jet skiing, and then you created something on the back of the jet ski for lifeguards?
Yeah, so, you know, so before, traditional lifeguarding was all about rescue tubes, surfboards, and trying to get the person. And a lot of times it's time that will save someone. Because when your heart stops, you literally have like between 2 to 6 minutes to survive when your heart stops. You know, so you have to get them to a solid surface and perform CPR as quick as you can. You know, so that's the thing. So when we used to make rescues, swimming or surfboard, it would take us guys an hour to bring them in. So by then it's almost too late, you know. So I was competing in the big wave tournament, the ADI call, as one of the invitees, right? So I'm surfing and I wipe out on this giant wave and I'm looking at this next wave that's gonna demolish me. And, there was no way anybody can grab me, but one of our friends had stand-up jet skis back then. He came zooming in and he couldn't grab me with that stand-up one, but he zoomed in, asked me if I was all right. And I looked at him all surprised going, wow. And he zoomed out, I got hit, but that changed my whole mind of underwater going like, wow, something actually came in. Should be something out there in the world that, can get there. And did research, found a wave runner, made a loan, bought that jet ski, tried to do rescues. It was hard to bring one unconscious person, went home, grabbed a bodyboard, hooked a water hose through the whole thing to pull that bodyboard. And then that was the beginning of the rescue sled, and then from there. And then a lot of people were saying, Brian, you should patent that, right? But I also felt that by patenting them, you're slowing down the process of more lives being saved.
Wow.
Because to me, the payment was save more lives, not make more money. And then now you see the rest of the world, everybody has adopted that. In fact, my partner Terry is in Japan right now because he's been training the Japanese safety team for the Olympics.
Wow.
So he's been going there the past 4 years of getting them all trained up just for the Olympics. But even our big wave risk assessment group that we have, so we go around the world teaching everyone about how do you create safety, in not just the use of personal watercraft, but from the simplistic way of just community or teamwork of working together and getting everybody CPR certified. So if something happens, so it's the process in the community.
That's such an amazing story.
Yeah.
And now it's like unheard of for people to not use that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the technology nowadays it would be outdated if you didn't have that board.
Yeah, yeah. And then besides the ski, so I got more surprises coming up, and Lanai knows also too, of different opportunities and different technology that we're exploring too.
Wow.
Wow.
Which you will patent, right?
Again, with me, that's why I need one person behind me. It's never been about money with me. It's always about the main mission of saving lives. So I gotta get somebody to wrangle my head of making money. But again, it's, if I can save someone, because to me, it's more about the mother, the father, the brother, the baby, you know what I mean? It's those stories that to me is my fulfillment, is my payment, that, giving back, because they might in turn rescue my family.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
What would
Pay
you
it
say is
forward.
like the biggest wave you've ever
Oh,
surfed on?
God. The biggest one I've been?
Size queen.
Yeah, I would say, for me, probably close to maybe 60, 70 feet. Yeah, right.
100?
When I said 100.
I let somebody else claim 100, but
humble.
nah. Yeah. I mean,
you get a rush?
for me, if I were to calculate what that wave is, that would be my calculation. And we're talking about in face heights. And it's funny what people interpret us of what we're saying, right? They go, the Hawaiians interpret waves from the back when they call like a 20-foot wave. But you can't see the waves from the back, when the thing coming in. What people got to realize, when I was growing up, my father and all my uncles would say, paddle to the 8-foot lineup, paddle to the 10-foot lineup. So it's more about the geography where the waves break. That's the name of the place. So we say this is the 8-foot lineup. It doesn't mean that's an 8-foot wave, So that's the way we was brought up, So it's funny because the guys going, how big is an 8-foot wave? 8-foot wave is like maybe the top of that black is up there, It's an 8-foot wave. And they goes, well, that's not 8 feet. That's more like, 16, 20 feet. And go, wow, that's how we grew up. If you're talking like, in terms of on Western way of thinking, 8 feet is 8 feet. But if you're talking about how we brought up culturally, it was more about the geography, the area where that wave break. We just saying that. So, Hawaiian way of talking is more poetic because a word can mean so much different things rather than a black and white version of what the word is, Yeah.
That's so interesting.
When you say like, okay, so you see a big wave and you're gonna get demolished by it and stuff, like out in the eddy.
Yeah.
Like how long are you held down underwater?
Oh, well, you train, right? Like, I'll give you an example. I'm surfing my favorite spot at the point at Makaha, and the waves is super giant, right? It's like 40-foot faces. And everybody knows that I know that place inside and out, where the waves gonna break.
That's
when
your
the thing gonna
backyard,
break. Yeah,
yeah?
it's my backyard. But people would line up on me, and you get frustrated because they never do their homework of earning that right where to be. So, it's like, okay, you guys like try and feed off of me, then we're all going to school. So I would go deeper in to where the waves can just demolish us and just take one giant wave on the head. Because now my training is all about breath holding, relaxing. So it's like, you can stand in my realm and we're going to get pummeled underwater and then we're going back out. So next time you're going to sit by me, be ready for get pummeled. So again, from the first school of education, they all get pummeled. They don't like go to church now.
How long can you hold your breath for?
Breath holding is all about the consistency of how well you train. So again, there is classes and courses that, it's like you talk about one guy like Mark Healy, who free dives, or Kimi Werner. That's the kind of people at that caliber that can really, it's all about, to me first, the mentality of understanding your body, of knowing how long you can stay underwater, because it's really about the oxygen that is in your bloodstream, in your brain, that you can survive. The breath holding is about just relaxing, because you have to remember that we're mammals. We can hold our breath really long, but because we program ourselves that you can't, your mind telling you can't, but you can. You have to train yourself to that level. Like I did Avatar 2 and 3, which never come out yet. So
wait, the Avatar, like
yeah,
the blue
yeah,
people.
Yeah. So we
The blue people.
yeah.
Like,
So with James Cameron, okay. So
Wow.
so we out at a certain location, because you only can say so much. But I gotta tell you, James Cameron, by far, literally one waterman like us, I would say. Yeah, this guy can hold his breath. He can free dive. He can do everything and stuff. And the guy's a full visionary. One of the greatest things I respect about James Cameron was about, if you think about Avatar and you think about that alien race, what alien race or what race of people you think that related to?
Hawaiian.
That's what he told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that because of the Hawaiian culture, which almost made me cry, right? It was like, oh my God. But he brought us guys in to teach the A-list actors how to blend and be part of the ocean. And then he also brought in, free divers to teach them how to hold their breath. So like Sigourney Weaver and all them, legit, 30 feet down, swim, hold your breath, swim 50 feet across, come back up 30 feet. Sigourney Weaver.
And she's, no offense, but she's like she's older.
Oh,
older lady, but she's athletic.
It is. And
can
to
be.
me, it's not really about the age. It's really about the mind frame and then training your body to that.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. But all the A-list actors, and maybe a great appreciation of, again, in our film family of what the depths they dive into.
quite literally.
Literally, yeah.
Wow. Wait, did you say Avatar 2 and 3?
2 and 3, yeah.
So
It just never came out yet.
Yeah.
I'm so glad there's more Avatars coming because I love Avatar.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
being with us. We really appreciated this time.
Yeah.
Thank you again for tuning in and watching Wind and Surfing. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't. Hit subscribe, tell your friends, family. Also follow us on Instagram, Wind and Podcast. We'll see you guys later.
thanks.
Woohoo! You're awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Such
That
great
was
stories.
so good.
Such great story.